Let's start with the youngest goalie on the list, and that's Devils goalie Mackenzie Blackwood, who's in the rumor mill. What do you think of Blackwood and maybe some potential fits for him?
Well, Blackwood's somebody at this point that probably could use a change of scenery. It hasn't been an easy going in New Jersey. There hasn't been a lot of light at the tunnel, and for whatever reason, it seems like that team has soured on him as their potential number one goaltender into the future. So you're looking at a goalie that's an RFA after this year. He's going to make $2.8 million, which is a pretty palatable number for somebody you think could be a number one. And I'm going to throw teams out here that I think would be interested and would be a fit. They're not necessarily who I think is the best fit or who I would want to match up. But I think for Blackwood, I look at Buffalo and I consider that a team that, is on the rise. I think they'll be knocking on the door of playoffs next year. I don't know if they'll make it, but they've got good assets and they need some stability in net. They ran through a lot of goalies this year. You could potentially get Blackwood at a pretty good deal. You wouldn't have to give up a whole lot, I would think, and then be able to run him for however long if he gets his game to where you want it to be. So it'd be a good calculated risk for Buffalo. I think Toronto could even be in the mix when you're thinking of Blackwood if things go sideways with Campbell. And I think Jack Campbell negotiations there, I'd put it probably less than 50% that he's going to end up back in Toronto. I'm not sure where he goes. So maybe Blackwood fits, but I'm not quite sure he has the gravitas there. One place I'd keep an eye on as well is Edmonton. Mike Smith's got a year left on his contract, and I think you're looking for a younger goaltender, a complementary goaltender to Smith that can grow into the role, play a lot of games, and hopefully take over that net. That's something of the trajectory that I see with Blackwood, because to me, he hasn't really grabbed a number one spot. Can he do it? He needs to prove it. And I really think in a place like Buffalo and Edmonton, those are the two that would be built for not just the team, but for Blackwood as well to try to take that next step.
The only thing I would say about the Edmonton idea is I would say there's a less than 50% chance Mike Smith plays next season with what we're hearing and the possible LTIR. And if you're Edmonton, and I think this even goes over to Toronto, but for the Oilers, Stuart Skinner's on an NHL deal. He can't go on waivers anymore. If you're in a make or break year with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl trying to win the Stanley Cup, are you going to roll with two goalies under the age of 25? That would leave me a little bit suspect, but I love the Buffalo pick. I think that'd be a tremendous spot for Blackwood to find his form and potentially grow into a number one. A great chance for the Sabres to take as well.